All right, let's do this. I'm a little late, but we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna lock in. Bro, my face. I don't know what my face. Hold up. I'm gonna get some water. But yeah, good morning, everyone. What the heck? Why is live chat not working? What the? There we go. All right, yeah. Good morning, everyone. We're just gonna lock in here. I'm a little late, but it is what it is. So, pulling up TradingView. And yeah, let's start talking about what we got going on for the morning. First, let's check Forex Factory. We have 17 minutes until market open. So, it's important to keep that in mind. And dang, we're getting a little bit of a low resistance liquidity run on the low time frame here. So there probably was opportunity. Well, actually, no. The price action was really bad. I take that back. Okay, no news today. So just check that. Let's get up everything else. One thing I was thinking is, should I be alerting in Discord when I go live? Because I know sometimes some people don't get the notification. That might be a good idea. Anyway, yeah, nice little low time frame, low resistance liquidity run. You can see here we use this for value gap to go higher. So let's start charting stuff out and figure out what we got going on for the morning. So as I said before, this is too bright. As I said before, we have no news today. Let's switch this to the other screen. So, no news. Yo, what up? It's quad witching day. What's that? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Once again, sorry I'm a little late, but I am trying my best. Right now, sometimes my best feels like it's not good enough, but we keep going. So, look at this, guys. Nice little low resistance liquidity run that happened on the intermediate time frame here, right? We had all these low resistance highs, and the market ended up running them. We had a very nice 1 hour for value gap, inverse for value gap. If you had been on the charts at 4 a.m., like that would have been honestly a perfectly fine hourly trade, right? Oh, you can't even see my screen. Whoops. Okay, let me go back to what I was saying. So, Really nice low resistance liquidity run on the intermediate time frame. You can see how we have all these low resistance highs here that we just cut right through, right? Very beautiful 1 hour inversion for value gap here, and very, very simple. Yo, what up, Sorab? How are you, bro? So right now we're just kind of talking about what happened so far this morning. We had this very beautiful 1 hour inversion. If you had been on the charts during London and you have been awake, honestly, taking that on the 1 hour, totally fair game in my opinion. I like it. We had very nice low resistance highs. You can see we're cutting through them. So now the question remains, okay, how much higher will we go? Let's mark out our draws on liquidity. The main thing right now is we do have this gap here, but the thing is, it might not stop price. I don't know. Quadruple witching involves simultaneous expirations of stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures occurring 4 times a year. Oh, well, that honestly might push price pretty aggressively. So PM size right there. Once again, we do have this gap here. I need to get up my trading charts, so I'm gonna pull up Top Step, and I'm gonna pull up my personal. And guys, I've gotten to the point where I can calculate the risk pretty fast now. I was practicing it all day yesterday at work. I was doing it in my head, and I'm honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've gotten pretty fast with it. So I don't know. Under 30 seconds. Under 30 seconds, I think, is totally good. And I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can do it under 30 seconds. So I'm happy about that. So let's make sure, let's switch this to the other screen. Where's the... Okay, that's all set up correctly. Yo, what up? Get your trading platforms ready. Yep, we're getting them ready, getting locked in. Yo, what up? How's it going? I have a problem with pronouncing names. Illy. Okay, let me test. Risks 37 points. No, it's not based off. I don't do points. I do. So, like, what I look at is. Okay, let's do the 1 hour chart. Let's do the trade on the 1 hour chart. Okay. So, this was the 1 hour inversion for value gap. So, 0.4. So, that's not quite 1 micro on my real account. 4 micro contracts base risk, 16 micro contracts on Top Step, and 48 micro contracts on Apex. Bang. See how fast I did that, bro? So, what I'm doing, it's hard to I can't explain it in the moment, but basically this is telling me how many micro contracts to buy on my personal. You can see it's not even 1, and then I'm converting it to the other ones. Dude, this okay. Anyway, it doesn't really matter as long as I can do it and make sure that I have the risk correct and I've been practicing it. That's what matters. But here's the thing, guys. Hey, what up, Opa? This 1 hour inversion for value gap was pretty nice. Notice how we sweep out this low, right? And it's just pop off of it. Honestly, guys, I lost my train of thought. Let's just move on, guys. Let's just move on. Okay, so right now, what do we got going on? Well, one possible draw on liquidity is we have previous day's high. Let's go first. What? Jake, wait for first presented for value gap. Dude, I know, right? Isn't the first presented for value gap so good? But yeah, the point with what I was trying to say is I can calculate the risk now pretty fast. Basically, I'm looking at the number right here, the quantity, and that's how many accounts I should buy on my micro contracts I should buy on my personal, and then I'm converting it to each of the different accounts. That's what I'm doing. But it's kind of hard to explain, so sorry if it didn't make sense. So, previous day's high. I guess we should probably frame out a model, right? Obviously, this is a buy model so far. So we should probably frame this out. We had a 1 hour gap here. Jake, may I know why you have so many combines? What do you mean? Okay. Because I had them in the past and I'm not a perfect trader. That's why. So we have a 1 hour gap. This was in discount. And some messaged me with _Jake Trades account in Discord. Should I buy? Kirk, are you trying to be dumb right now? No, that's not me, bro. Okay, so we had this 1 hour gap. So obviously this is a 1 hour gap in discount. We popped into equilibrium here. And so let's align the 1 hour with the 5 minute, right? We had a 5 minute change in state. So this is essentially the higher time frame model that I see playing out right now. Is we have a 1 hour gap and then a 5 minute change in state of delivery right here. You can see how we induce this low into the change in state. That's our turtle soup opportunity. So obviously if we had been on the charts at that time, that would have been a really nice trade, but it's never that easy. So we are hitting the second standard deviation. So it could be possible we retrace here, but we also have previous day's high, which is a strong draw on liquidity. We could keep going up, but this is pretty clearly a buy model right now. We have the third standard deviation resting above previous day's high. We got market open in 5 minutes. And yeah, just a giant buy model. We'll probably end up drawing to max extension if I had to guess, because this is looking like a really clean buy model, guys. This is looking like a really clean buy model. Oh yeah, I was going to finish setting up my accounts. Jake, liquidity is down. What does that mean, bro? Okay. So top step. And then I was going to pull Tradevate. London low and New York AB session next to each other. Oh, you're telling me the drawn liquidity is lower? Well, it kind of depends. If we get SMT, then I'd probably be open-minded to turning bearish. But right now we're in a buy model. So, we'll just have to see. But, like, pretty obviously this is a buy model, right? I mean, we had a 1 hour gap and now a 5 minute change instead of delivery. We backtest my sniper model entry right there. What up, Hyper? How's it going, bro? So yeah, guys, we're just kind of getting warmed up to the charts. Unfortunately, I did get in the charts a little bit late today, and you know what? I'm trying my best every single day. I get a little bit better, and I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. But yeah, hit equilibrium, hit this 1 hour gap in discount. In case if price wants to go down, that's where it will most likely travel. Sweet. That is very good to know, bro. And I will be able to flip my bias if we do one. What would flip my bias, guys? Honestly, if we had SMT with this gap, and it was pretty clear that a sell model was forming, but we'll just have to see. Right now, I'm kind of thinking we're in a buy model. And it could easily flip. It could easily flip. Once again, guys, I'm not saying it can't. So this was, we ended up, London swept Asia. London swept Asia, I think. Let's actually look. So, yeah, guys, I think this is New York continuation, right? London low of the day. Exactly. This is typical London reversal, New York continuation daily profile, meaning London forms low of the day, and then New York continues. But could it possibly be a New York reversal? It could always switch, and I'm always open minded. But if I had to pick a side, I'm probably gonna pick that. I think yeah, I think we'll continue to previous day's high. It's clear. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too, bro. I'm thinking that too. The only thing that would switch my bias is if we had a really, really obvious SMT and change the state of delivery back down, and it was just undeniable. But as of right now, I'm pretty leaning bullish. Market is about to open, so let's go. I'm gonna put this in my journal for 1 hour 5-minute models. We honestly might go right up to the previous day's high on market open. I would not even be surprised, because we just have tapped this gap here. So let's go ahead and put this in my journal for 1 hour 5-minute models. All right, this is exactly what I wanted to see. So we're getting a move back lower. Are you delayed? Oh, shoot. Am I delayed? Is the stream delayed? Guys, is the stream delayed? Oh, no. I'm not delayed, bro. It's my computer's time. Yeah, it says 7:30. Okay. It's not delayed, guys. I promise it's not delayed. My computer's time, it's live. It's 7:30. See, look at my time on my phone. It's 7:34. For some reason, my computer's time is off. It's off by 4 minutes. I'm not delayed. Come on. I promise you guys, I'm not delayed. My phone just died. That was the word. But yeah, my computer's time is off by 4 minutes. This is live right now. That's kind of confusing. Yeah, it's 9:35 right now. It's 9:35. The time is off on my computer. I don't know why. But it is 9:35. Look, I'll go on Google. Check this out. I just asked Google, what time is it? 7:35, right? See what I'm saying? The time, my computer's time is off by 4 minutes. I don't know why, but it's not delayed. Okay, yeah, I don't know why it's like that right now, but it is. So, okay, we just put that in the 1 hour 5-minute models. So honestly, guys, we might end up coming back down, taking out these lows. We'll just have to see. Yeah, I might even put a note so people know, right? Actually, you can't see my time. You can't even see my time, so you just have to believe me, it's not delayed. So, where's midnight and where's 7:30? Yeah, so we got midnight right here. It would make a lot of sense if we came down 9 AMD. Wait, what? 9 AMD? I think we could go below midnight and 7:30 here. Oh, shoot, my phone died. That's really actually not good, because I need to use my phone to execute. So, right now, we're actually probably getting a trade on the lower time frame because we have a 15-minute gap here and 1 minute change in state right here. 1 minute change in state. We actually got it right there. Now, I didn't see this live, but this is, in hindsight, this is obvious, right? 1 minute change in state. I'm more interested in the trade back to the upside anyway. I'm not interested in this, but we had a 15-minute gap here. 15-minute for value gap. And then we had a 1 minute change in state of delivery right here. So, but once again, I was more interested in the trade back to the upside anyways, so I don't really care. Once again, I have the fan, by the way, so I'm going to be able to fix the noise, but I keep forgetting to replace it because I've just been so busy, so I'm going to replace it this weekend. But yeah, 15-minute for value gap, 1 minute change in state. We retest that right here. Hey, what up, Flair? Good morning. So yeah, so far this is playing out to the downside. So where's max extension of this? It's kind of right by that CISD. So, kind of depends how you measure it, though. But yeah, 15-minute for value gap, 1 minute change in state. I'm essentially going to be looking for a trade back to the upside. I'm anticipating this to be the Judas swing, right? So around 10 a.m. or so, I'm going to take something probably back to the upside. At least that's what I'm thinking. But we'll see. Because we hit the... You know what? It's kind of nice because we have a 15-minute for value gap right here. This is like a 2022 gap, it looks like. It almost looks too easy. It almost looks too easy. Well, we have a 15-minute gap here. It's possible that this ends up getting held. We're getting SMT here. But yeah, once again, I'm kind of just waiting for obvious AMD. We might retest the original change in state. keep that in mind, right? This could deliver us lower. We may have first presented for value gap. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, this is probably gonna be first presented. Good catch, Sorab. Thank you. I might actually just clean up my chart because it's kind of getting a little overwhelming for me. And yeah. So this change in state, like I said, was possibly gonna reject price. It could end up rejecting price here still, but I'm not convinced of one way or the other right now. I'm just watching. Kind of waiting for something obvious, essentially. Okay, I'm practicing the risk in my head. 1 micro contract on personal. 24 on top step. Okay. So just I'm practicing. I was convinced we were bearish. Bro, that's funny. Yeah, bro, I think we're in a buy model. I'm not gonna lie, I think we're in a buy model. London reversal, New York continuation. Remember when it's a daily profile. When London makes low of the day, New York often will continue the move that London started. So London made low of the day and then started moving higher. New York's likely to continue moving higher. That's just a very typical daily profile. So, and I mean, it just looks like a buy model. It just kind of looks like it. But I'm kind of just being patient, just watching. We do have this 15-minute gap here. But we also have this 15-minute gap here. So there's that. Once again, what's going on here right now, right? Just so you guys have an understanding of what is actually possibly going on right now. We had a 1 minute change in state off of this 15-minute gap. And you'll see here that if I measure this out, right, we backtest my sniper model. So that was perfectly hit. So we do have the first presented for value gap here. I'm kind of curious if we have S&T. Whoa, S&P, what is going on with S&P? Yo, that's a crazy looking divergence. Okay, I'm going to get this first presented for value gap marked out. Once again, guys, obviously right now, I'm not sure. That's why you can tell I'm like not exactly sure. I'm just waiting. First presented for value gap right here. Waiting for something obvious, right? I think my favorite scenario would be if maybe sell model back down to here and then this delivered us higher, right? Because this is a gap. Oh, yo. Let's check to see if the gold block for value gap lines up with this for value gap. Now, this is actually going to be kind of interesting. Yeah, bro. Okay. I've seen enough, bro. This fair value gap right here. When we get this fair value gap, I'm gonna look for a 15-minute 15-minute fair value gap, 1-minute change in state of delivery off of this. Look at the fair value gap being in the low of the gold block. And so for all the gold block doubters and haters, explain why the market maker model formed and tapped the low of the gold block. And the fair value gap formed in the fair value gap part of the gold block. Right? That's not random, bro. That's not random, right? We sweep liquidity into the low of the dealing range, right? And then we formed this fair value gap. We broke structure. So yeah, I'm honestly looking to see us deliver down back to this fair value gap here, which is a 2022 fair value gap. Crazy. Okay. I am so curious if we had S&T here. Honestly, I'm not seeing S&T. I mean, that is kind of concerning. Wait a second. Yo. Hold up. We just formed bearish S&T. Keeping my options open. But once again, I'm preferring to be bullish, so not a huge fan of this bearish S&T, right? So I'm just gonna wait for something obvious. I might actually go on a walk just because I'm not sure anything is obvious right now and I don't want to do something dumb. So okay. Yo. Displacement higher. Guys, I don't want to be bearish. So there's nothing I can say or do here that's going to change that. So I'm not going to end up taking a short if I don't want to take short because I'm not bearish. 15-minute fair value gap. We ended up getting a 1-minute change in state. And that delivered price higher right here. You know, could have I taken this, right? Because this is a liquidity sweep, a break of structure. Yeah, I could have. I honestly could have. And this is something that, you know, it's good to see live, right? We swept out the low. We broke the high. Man, it's good to see this stuff live, though. Because then I get more familiar with it. And then a 1-minute change in state. Now we're at the max extension. We have bearish S&T. But once again, I'm not bearish. Oh my gosh, we're already almost at all-time highs again. Dang, bro, the first presented for value gap was actually really, really nice. Guys, the first presented for... It's so hard to see in the moment. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I wish I was better at seeing it in the moment. The first presented for value gap was a 2022 model. Right? Liquidity sweep, breaker structure. Bro, this is just stupidly obvious now in hindsight. Oh my gosh. So 2022 for value gap and first presented for value gap. You took it? Bro, this was so clean. This is why you guys gotta be able to, you know, make your own decisions based off of the stuff that you know and not just, you know, necessarily blindly follow me, because you can see here that this was clean and I missed it, right? We would look for a 15-second change in state off of the 2022 gap. And look at this, right? We get that right here. But we might end up getting an opportunity here. Who knows? Once again, I'm not bearish. So I don't care if there might be a bearish trade. I'm not bearish. Oh, look at that. 15-second inversion. I don't trust those a lot all the time, though. But yeah, 15-second change in state off of the first presented for value gap. I took, bro, full porting 200K alphas to previous day's high. Dang, man. You know, it's obvious. It's so obvious in hindsight. Did you get in that 5-minute inversion, Jake? 5-minute inversion. What 5-minute inversion? I don't see a 5-minute inversion. This to the downside? Bro, I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish at all. So, oh wait, 5-minute inversion. Oh! That was clean. That was clean. Good job if you took that, I guess. Bro, sometimes I just miss things. 15-second change in state. Actually, this one, we tap it right here. Dang it, bro. I hope that we get a retracement. Look at how clean price action is. This is some of the cleanest price action I've ever seen. So we just hit the third standard deviation. We have not hit max extension yet of this lower time frame model off of the 2022 gap. What do you think my entry at 77? What do you think my entry is? 766. Should I let it run? Wait, what do you think my entry? It just depends on how you took the trade and your conviction. I don't know what you took the trade based off of, so whenever according to your back testing it makes sense for you to trail or go break even, that's when you do that. Okay. Kind of just waiting. I think we could still get an opportunity, but I'm just trying to figure out, trying to be patient. We do have bearish SMT with this high. Something to consider. And now we're getting a 30-second change in state. We had Phoenix model at the high, where we have bearish SMT. We had bearish SMT, and then you can see the rejection block of that SMT was a nice entry, right? So we have Phoenix model at the high. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So obviously I'm not bearish, but in the short term I'm kind of thinking it might go lower because we just got bearish SMT. $15-minute. I guess there's no obvious. Once again, I'm bullish. So I'm not really looking to take a short. But you can see that this Phoenix model did hold, right? So this Phoenix model from SMT with the rejection block, it ended up holding. So now we have a gap. 5-minute gap here, guys. I might look for a 5-minute, 30-second change in state off of this 5-minute gap. We're going into 10 a.m. I would like to see equilibrium of this range rebalance too. Or at least this range. Preferably this range. Okay, 30-second change in state just got. I'm not saying to take it, but what I'm saying is 30-second change in state just happened. I'm kind of waiting for. You know, something obvious. I kind of wanted to see equilibrium of this range rebalanced. Just being patient. No need to take something if I'm not sure, right? 24.739. Yeah, because we do have that bearish SMT. Yeah, very possible that that happens, but yeah, just trying to be thoughtful. Looks like it's respecting this 5-minute gap. So not saying I would take this, but let's just pretend I was taking this. Let's see if I can calculate the risk. 1.3 times. Yeah, one micro contract on personal, 13 micro contracts on base risk. 52. So this would be 52. And I'm not taking this, guys. I was just practicing calculating risk. But this isn't obvious enough for me to take. It might work though. Actually, this 1-minute inversion. But then again, I just don't know. I don't know if I love it. If I'm not sure, then I'm not going to do it. Once again, because what I would prefer to see is I don't know. It's just maybe not obvious enough is all I'm saying, right? And I just want to be really, really sure because I hate losing. I really hate losing. I mean, my least favorite thing is taking a trade that's mediocre, and I just don't want to do that anymore. So, I mean, this trade was really nice. I just didn't see it in the moment. Oh, look at this. This looks like a breaker structure. Yeah. Wait. The Koi Sweep breaker structure. And then 2022 gap, possibly. Wait, I wonder. We should look at the 2022 the 22-minute cycle. 9:22, 9:44. So this is 22-minute S&T, isn't it? 9:22. Jake, is trading your full time? No. I'm working on it. I'm intermediate to, I don't know. I'm still just trying to get better, guys. I'm not obvious. If I was full time, I wouldn't be here in my parents' basement. But yeah, I work during the day. So 9:22, we have SMT between so 22-minute SMT. I'm very curious if this 1-minute rejection block rejects price. I'm not bearish though, so I won't take this. I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish. 3 PD raise line. First presented for value gap, 15-minute OB, and the 15-minute BC at the first trade. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, guys, I'm not bearish, so I'm not taking this. I'm just kind of like, interesting. But once again, what has higher power, higher time frame? Higher time frames in a buy model. So I don't want to get analysis paralysis. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit and see. Wow, yeah, this is obviously a buy model here. So I think we'd be pretty stupid to take a short because we'd be against higher time frame, London reversal, New York continuation, daily profile, But then again, we actually are still having the higher time frame bearish. Wait a second. We have the higher time frame bearish SMT too. Wait, now I'm actually curious. I'm still not bearish, so I'm very hesitant. Like I'm not bearish. But I'm just looking around, right? Yeah, I'm still not bearish, guys. But like once again, this 2022 model, this was a really nice trade. Liquidity sweep, breaker structure, 2022 gap right here. So we had a 5-minute gap here. So that trade that I was initially talking about of the 30-second change in state, so far that's probably hit like 2R at least. Once again, let's pretend I was calculating the risk on this, right? So 1.4, so 1 micro contract on personal, 56 on top step. Okay, that's all I need to know right now. And I think 126 on Apex if I was taking that. But yeah, I didn't like that enough. Okay. Wait, let's actually get that original idea back. What if this is a 2022 model? Wait, 15-second? Yo, 15-second change of state off the 2022 gap? So this would be 7. This would be 28 on top step. If I was to take this, it would be 28 on top step. So this is a 1-minute PD ray. Once again, I'm not bearish, so I'm not going to take it. But 15-second change in state. So I would do 728 on top step if I was to take this. And I'd probably target that. Not bearish though. This is still a 5-minute gap. So one thing that could happen is, or in this 5-minute gap, So yeah, you could probably go break even now if you were in this. But once again, this is a 5-minute gap. Higher time frame's bullish. Yeah, wait a second. 5-minute gap. Higher time frame's bullish. We just swept liquidity into it. Okay, now we're hitting 30-second change in state. Bro, this one looks kind of clean. Okay, 1-minute inversion for value gap here. Six, 12, 18, 24. Okay.
Order filled.
I might just target 1-to-1. Freak, bro.
Order filled.
Alright, I stopped out. Alright. Okay, I'm done for the day. I was honestly just gonna target 1-to-1. Yeah, lesson here is it wasn't. 2-minute walk. Closing out of my accounts. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Low time frame inversions like that make me so mad. Yeah, no. I'm okay. I'm fine. It's just a loss, bro. Obviously, I'm not super stoked about it, but yeah. Objectively, the market's always right, guys. I mean, that initial idea that we had of, if I zoom all the way back here, the initial idea that we had of this being a 2022 model with a 22-minute SMT, and we had a break of structure here. Yeah, you were right, bro. I'm not too upset, guys. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I messed up, took a bad trade, and now I'm done for the day. So this is part of trading, and you guys got to realize that. You know what? I really do suck at trading sometimes live. I suck at trading live. For some reason, I can see everything in hindsight, but it's like trading live. It's a whole different beast, dude. But yeah, this was a nice 2022 model on the 1 minute. We had maybe a sweep of these highs. Yeah, sweep of this high here. So sweep, and yeah, I am done for the day. You know what? Like I said, I messed up. It's whatever. Yeah, 22-minute SMT. Here's a sweep of this high. Like it really does not matter. It was just, I have to realize it wasn't that great of a trade, right? Let's see if this was in the gold block partition. Oh, you know what's super cool? This 2022 model with the first presented for value gap. The 2022 model that we had with the first presented for value gap. Look at this. We swept liquidity into the liquidity sweep partition of the gold block range. We broke structure here. And then that 2022 model gap, which was also the first presented for value gap, which was also in the fair value gap partition. Then we got 15-second change in state. That was perfect. You see how that was perfect? And actually, look at this. This isn't even a breaker. This isn't even the 2022 model, actually. This is just a bearish fair value gap. No, actually, now that I'm looking at it, guys, this is a breaker in the breaker block partition, and a fair value gap in the fair value gap partition, right? That's kind of sick. So, 1 minute breaker, 1 minute fair value gap. So, honestly, we might need to name a new model for this. A breaker block in the breaker block partition, and then a line time frame change in state off of it. So maybe like GB breaker. So this is a. So anytime it's a gold block level, I'm gonna put GB. GB breaker. And then yeah, 15-second change in state. It also probably was a Reaper. Wait. I don't know. I'm not even sure. But guys, the market's always right, and it really is always right. And honestly, I don't like inversions that much for this exact reason, because if sometimes a simple inversion is like the worst trade to take for me, because those simple trades, they don't work out for me. I don't know why. But yeah. So this is a gold block breaker, and then 15-second change in state off of the gold block breaker. Yeah, bro, the key was understanding high resistant liquidity conditions. Absolutely. Because when you understand high resistant liquidity, you can understand, okay, right? We can trade in line with high resistant liquidity. Right? We can trade in line with high resistant liquidity. So, high resistant liquidity conditions, we trade in line with high resistant liquidity. So watch right now, even right now. This is high resistant liquidity, so we're going to trade in line with high resistant liquidity. So gold block breaker, 15-second change in state. What are the settings for gold block that you have? Yeah, so the main thing is dealing range shift, right? You want to make sure you have this on 1/2, because if you don't, then it's going to shift it by a full range, and the full range is not nearly as useful as the half range. So yeah, use the half ranges. But yeah, you can see how this was a gold block fair value gap. So this was a gold block 2022 model first presented fair value gap. I have never seen such a strong fair value gap in my life. That is insane. The first presented fair value gap, 2022 model fair value gap, and gold block. We have to admit, this is like this fair value gap was a little cracked. This fair value gap was a little cracked, guys. First percent for value gap, gold block, and first percent for value gap. Whoa, what? I don't even know what I just said. Oh, and we had 22-minute SMT, bro. Nah, this crap is when you get deep down the trading rabbit hole, you realize how perfect these markets are. Cause look at this, 22-minute SMT here, below the true open. Does this not just make you excited? Like, guys, these markets are so cool. $22-minute SMT below the 22-minute true open. These markets are always right. Now, can you catch it live? That's a different story. That's where the true challenge comes. Is catching a trade live, but honestly, if a trade is gold block, I might just mark it out with like a gold border like this, or nah, not like that, but like this. Yeah, I'll do that. Bro, is this not cool? Is this just not really, really cool? And then we can align this with a 15-second. Bro, this is so sick. If you guys don't think this is cool, you got some studying to do, bro. This is so sick. Liquidity sweep, break of structure, 2022 fair value gap. But this is why I only take one trade a day, because you know what? What's going to lead to success in the long run? Taking a loss, accepting the loss, and moving on to the next day. That's successful trading in the long run, 100%. Holy crap, guys. You guys see how cool these markets are, right? This right here is why I like trading. This right here, not for the money, not for anything else, bro. This right here is why I like trading. Because it's so damn precise. It's so insanely precise, guys. The crap? It's genuinely insane. Not for the money is crazy. Well, the money is a bonus, bro. Not, the money's a bonus, but like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. If you obviously it's for the money a little bit, Gary. It's not. It's obviously for the money a little bit, but like, but here's the thing, like. If you go into it thinking that way, that's gonna make you unprofitable. So I don't ever say that, right? I never say, oh, you know, I'm in it for the money. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Like, obviously everyone's in it for the money a little bit, but when you go into the markets thinking like that, you are gonna get wrecked. So and then we had low resistance highs all through here. Are you going to observe the chart if you aren't trading? Yeah, I should. That's the whole point of the live trading window. Sorry, guys. I just get really distracted really easily. But this is super cool. Yeah, we'll observe the chart live. Let's observe the chart live. Let's keep trading. I won't be taking any trades, though. So, yeah, let's keep observing the chart. So, Goldbach and quarterly theory. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at what we got going on. So, right now, high resistant liquidity conditions. And I honestly think these equal highs are going to stay around, at least temporarily, because high resistant liquidity. So, as far as, higher time frame goes, there's a 1 minute change in state. Or it's a 1 minute breaker. Remember, this was a Goldbach breaker. I don't know why, but I always start to analyze better when I'm done trading. Yeah, I think 1 minute aligns with the 15-second a little better. It's just something I've noticed over time. This is just a thought. Like, what if we induce this high and then go lower? Yeah. Let's see if this works out. You're in the short? Nice. Well, now you could go break even. You might need to actually measure it out like this. I'd actually take profit here, because that's the fourth standard deviation. Jake, I see. Kirk, you're a funny guy. That's where I take profit. And actually, you could have had stop loss here. You've been in the short since 10:05? Holy. Alright, where are all the lower time frame haters now? Where are they? Lower time frames, incredibly precise. It's all just precision. Insane precision. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So notice how I used high resistance liquidity as a confluence. Crazy how you can do that, right? You can take profit here if you want. But yeah, bang, right? High resistance liquidity was a confluence for the trade. Can I explain? Yeah, so we had high resistance liquidity every single time we were pushing up to go run against these highs. So this was a trend line. Typically, these are going to be low resistance. When you get to the other side of the curve, right? When we come up and we, we form a low of a model, push down into a higher time frame key level. I didn't take it because I told you I'm only taking one trade a day. I'm only taking one trade a day. So once we push into a higher time frame key level and then we come across the other side of the curve. Gary, you knew this, bro. I told you. I'm only doing one trade a day. Push into a key level and then we go the other side. Now this is low resistance, right? But because right now it's not low resistance, it's high resistance, meaning every single time we were pushing up against it, we were getting rejected. So I drew out this trend line, and that basically I'm saying, okay, we have a ton of lows down below that where people can get stopped out. A ton of transactions here. So this right here, big nice liquidity pool, and so we had a 1 minute breaker that had a really good signature, and so the 1 minute breaker being the down close candle before the move higher, the final move higher before this move lower. So this is a 1 minute breaker, and notice how this breaker lined up perfectly in the breaker partition of Goldbach, right? So that's why it's called a Goldbach breaker, because it's a higher probability breaker because it's in the Goldbach partition. It's because the 1 minute breaker was perfectly in the Goldbach range. And then we have on the lower time frame, we have liquidity sweep, and then a change in state. And we had an old high. That we could induce. And once again, you want to pair your entry with an inducement. So I paired my entry with an old high that we could induce. Enter at the old high, aligned with the change in state. Once again, remember that video I made on how you want to align change in state entries with inducements. And that's turtle soup. And then so that was turtle soup. And then I put stop above this. And then we go down to the fourth. So yeah. See, I didn't take it because I told you I'm not taking it. I told you I'm only taking one trade a day. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of cool. So now we're continuing lower. You could leave a runner for these lows here. That'd be 7 to 1. Once again, this was really obviously high resistance liquidity. So once it became super obvious this was high resistance liquidity, I'm going to use it as a confluence for my trade. So notice how the high resistance liquidity marks up with that inducement and change in state, bang, right? So now one thing we could look for is we could look for the 8th standard deviation. So that's kind of where I think we would go next, is the 8th. Actually, I would target the 7th. Yeah, there we go, the 7th. 7th just got hit. I would target the 7th. So who are all the people who say the markets are random? Can you guys all stand up? Imagine thinking the markets are random in 2025, bruh. Once again, 7th standard deviation is better than the 8th. Take profit the 7th. And we had equal lows here. So now we just hit the low of the dealing range, and we hit the 15-minute gap that I originally liked. No, we didn't. That's all the way down there. So now we could be getting a buy model back up. We left equal lows, but I don't think that's going to necessarily matter a ton right now. We'll see. Well, actually, we might continue lower here. A lot of low resistance lows here. Looks like a mountain, bro. Looks like Mount Everest, bro. I don't know. Dude, I'm actually really liking these gold block breakers. Dude, D-Trader, go watch the stream back, bro. This was crazy. I called this live, bro. I tape read it. Go watch it. I didn't execute it because I already took a trade and it was a loss. And that's just because I just mess up, bro. But this was nice. Once again, 7th standard deviation better than the 8th standard deviation. Take profit at the 7th. Notice how we did not go to the 8th, and everyone holding for the 8th just got wrecked. Honestly, no one probably holds for that's probably only me, but once again, just take profit at the 7th, bro. I don't know why. It's just something I learned from screen time. So, okay, now what could be happening? Well, we have a 15-minute reclaimed gap here. One-minute change in state. S&T with YM. I just think we're still in high resistant liquidity conditions, honestly. Like, I'm honestly tempted to do another short, like, because high resistance liquidity. Look at the high resistance. It just looks high resistant, bro. Like, everyone's like, we gotta go run liquidity. And I'm like, kind of looks high resistant. We got these low resistance lows below. So, how could we take a short? We have this 5-minute gap. So, we could take a 5-minute fair value gap and then take a 30-second change in state. Like this. Or an inversion. Oh, this might be Dynamis. Oh my gosh. This was Dynamis right here. Because this was a 1-minute order block, 1-minute propulsion block. I don't know. I could explain that later. But 1-minute order block, 1-minute propulsion block. So let's say I was calculating this. This would be 24 on top step. Bang. Enter. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that wasn't that high probability. We hit the sniper model entry. Alright, that would stop me out. I'm not. Once again, I'm tape reading. And I'm just trying to get better. So we might need to come up and on the 5 minute, five minute OB, 5 minute propulsion block. High resistance liquidity curve. Oh, wait. I like this one better. This looks much better. Which one? The one that I just marked out? No, um because I already took a loss. No. Alright, so this would be 8. 8. So if this changes state, then I would go 8. 16, 24, 32 on Top Step. 1 micro on personal. This is just a theoretical trade. S&T at the highs. So this would be, yeah, I would enter here. So I'd enter 32. And then I'd enter 1 micro. And then on Apex, I put a limit order, let's say, so 496. So 24 times 4. That should be 96, right? Yeah, so 96 on Apex. You gotta get a little better at that. And then stop at the end of the green candle. And then I target the 4th. I love high resistance liquidity. High resistance liquidity is my favorite. Bro. I love high resistance liquidity. So this is my Dynamis model, by the way, for anyone wondering. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm scaling out, guys. Never all or nothing. I'm actually gonna change the templates. Dynamis model. Let's go. Gary's like, this is why you allow yourself to make mistakes. Yeah, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. I think in the long term, just doing one loss max in a day is going to lead to my success. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me guess, we hit the second standard deviation. Yo, what up, Jill? Yeah. I'll think about it. But there will also be many days where I could end up going on a, big losing spree if I allow myself to lose multiple trades in a row. And I don't want to have those big days of drawdown. Hey, alright, sounds good, Sarob. Sounds good, bro. And also dinner time in Pakistan. I love that, guys. Once again, I'm liking these low resistance lows and equal lows. That's kind of my thought process here. I'd actually take profit here at the end of these. Guys, I love high resistance liquidity. I love high resistance liquidity. Everyone's saying don't trade high resistance liquidity conditions. Bro, these are the most precise conditions of them all. Oh my. It's just hilarious. It's just so funny. Everyone telling me don't do this, don't do that. Oh, Jake, you don't know what you're doing. Bro, shut up. Shut up. Oh my. Doesn't it just make you... It's just laughable, honestly. It's not don't trade high resistance liquidity. It's you have to really know what you're freaking doing. That's what it is. I mean, I'm using high resistance liquidity as a confluence here, right? Once again, this is all just practice for me. So. This is why on good days I want to allow myself to potentially keep trading, and on bad days I want to preserve losses or like prevent more losses. Is what I'm trying to say. That's kind of my thought process with one loss a day. Yeah, I took a stupid trade, but I've marked out um, two really good 4-to-1s tape red. So all right, I'm gonna I'm gonna end the stream because this isn't even a real trade, but yeah, I would have probably taken profit. You could take profit there. That's 3-to-1. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's just keep trying to get better every single day. So, yeah. Until next time. Peace out.